I'm on a journey of self-love, and I always will be. And this is a really important piece that's been coming up for me recently. Noticing that I'm getting older, noticing that my face is looking different, and this is not all of a sudden just started to happen. It's been something that I've been noticing for a long time, different changes that are happening. And each time I notice one of these changes, it's an opportunity for me to step more deeply into loving myself, because I get to feel how uncomfortable it feels. I get to feel all of the judgment that I'm putting on myself and that I am projecting through other people's eyes back to me. It feels like if I get older and I show it, that it's been sloppy somehow, that I've let myself go. And in fact, what I've really been doing all this time is figuring out how to take better and better care of myself. I've been doing this emotionally. I used to be someone who was anxious all the time, never felt good enough, was always worried if I fitted in, and there was always something about me, whether I was looking really young, there was always something about my face, my body, my hair that I didn't like and that I was judging. And so this journey that I'm having with my age and seeing my skin change, it's not new. It's not new at all. It is something that I'm very familiar with. And yet, as I'm doing a deeper cleanse of my body now, I'm going through this powerful parasite cleanse. It's something that I'm being guided through by an incredible functional nutritionist. And she is incredibly healthy herself, and she does 2 of these a year. So it's something that we can get a little more familiar with and realize that these parasites are part of our environments, and if we don't cleanse them out, they stay stuck in our bodies. And I feel that parasites are something that is an analogy for emotions in a lot of ways, because we build up these traumas, these pains, these unfelt difficult emotions in our bodies, but also unfelt joyful emotions because we feel they're too hard to feel as well. And they stay trapped in our bodies like silt building up, like parasites building up and taking over. And they weigh down on us. And I think that kind of aging, that kind of getting older is something that we absolutely don't have to do. We can move through that. We can release those emotions piece by piece, unburdening our systems, unburdening our hearts and our minds and our bodies as well when we do that. And because of all of the years that I've been working at letting go of those difficult emotions, embracing the positive ones, the ones that I really enjoy, I've been able to allow the stresses internally on my system, the physical stresses, if you like the parasites, to go. So I'm meeting the right people to help me to let go of those things and become aware of them. It's like now that I've got to a certain place with my emotional clearing, my body's like, we don't need these parasites anymore. They just no longer resonate at the same frequency that I'm at. And so with aging, there's, I guess, 2 kinds of aging. There's the aging that I think is put out in society as a popular belief that happens to us, that we're on this gradual decline into decrepitcy, where our bodies are rotting and falling apart, and we become in pain, and we get withered, and we look all gnarled, and we get less and less healthy. And for me, that is our systems under pressure, that is our emotions weighing us down, making us unhealthy. Whereas we don't have to do that. The aging where our faces may change, our hair may change, well, maybe there are some people out there that think that doesn't need to happen as well. And there might be some kind of evolution where we don't need to change how we look. I don't like to limit people and what they can and they can't do. The only thing I want to say with this is, if you are noticing it in you, if you are noticing that your face is changing, that things are looking different, that's an opportunity to deepen your love for yourself. And so it's not a bad thing. It's an uncomfortable thing. It's uncomfortable to sit with those feelings and to look at yourself and be like, oh, I didn't used to look like this. I wish I appreciated myself when I was 10 years younger, which I feel like we will constantly do unless we sit with ourselves now and say, wow, I'm actually doing all right. And not in comparison to anybody else, not even in comparison to our younger selves, but right now in this moment, can we find something in our faces, in our bodies that we do appreciate, that we do think is beautiful? And it doesn't even have to be beautiful to anybody else. It can be just beautiful to us. Just one thing. Because I know from my experience of looking in the mirror is that I tend to notice what I don't like. I tend to be like, oh, I need darker eyebrows, darker eyelashes, because people with darker features are more beautiful, and this and that and this and the other thing. Instead of looking at my face and saying, wow, I love my eyes, my cheekbones are incredible, and just reveling in that and saying, cool, this is awesome. Or even that line that appeared, yeah, that makes me look smarter, wiser. And allowing the laughter lines to bring us joy. There's always something that we can find, but we choose not to, because we think if we focus on the thing that is beautiful, then other people are going to notice the ugly stuff, and then all of a sudden they'll surprise us and say something, and we'll be like, oh God, yeah, I can't believe I was going around thinking I was attractive or good looking, and then of course I'm not. Whereas it's the other way around. When we are feeling comfortable in our skin and we're noticing what does look good on us and what does feel good on us, which is even more important, other people are going to sense that energy. They're going to feel that energy from us, that we are feeling good. And if you're in the energy of someone else who feels good in their body, who feels good in their face and their skin, it doesn't matter what they look like, because you're admiring their energy. And that energy is something that you can feel. It's tangible. So I do most of my coaching online, and I can feel people's energy. It doesn't matter where they are in the world when I'm working with them. I can sense that energy, and they can sense mine as well. And so just notice that when you work on how you feel about yourself, about how you look, everything changes. And I'm doing this video today exactly as I showed up, which is wearing sports clothes. I have no makeup on. I don't think I've even brushed my hair today. This is, I have washed my face. You'll be happy to know. However, I just wanted to appear how I am. And sometimes you'll see me with makeup on, and I think that's okay as well. It's not about saying something's bad or wrong or don't do that. Even if you decide to change your face surgically or through other lotions and potions that are available, there's nothing wrong with you if you make that decision. It is definitely a decision that is our culture based, and it is something that I feel it comes from the outside world. And I did ask myself the other day, like, how would I feel if I was the only one in the world? If no one else was in the world? And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care what I looked like. I literally just care how I felt. I'd also be quite lonely. But it's, when we look at it like that, we know that we're just being impacted by what other people might think of us and how they might judge us. And therefore, then how we're judging ourselves. And so, yeah, it is fun to look good. It is fun to kind of dress up and do all those things and do those things and revel in them and enjoy them. And love yourself bare-faced, dressed casual, and just being you. And when we can do that, our energy changes so much. And it is such a relief. And it's an adventure. Because we come along these ups and downs in life of feeling really good, and then the next hurdle comes. And often for me that would be winter. It's like when my skin is looking really, really pale and there's no sort of sun brightening it up, and you're feeling maybe a little I know now I need to eat more fats, my skin might be a little drier during that time. And actually, that's where we just need a lot more self-care, a lot less looking in the mirror, and a lot more moving through the emotions that do come up when we do catch sight of ourselves in the mirror. I hope this was helpful for you today. It is me continuing to work through the things that are coming up for me around beauty and around aging and around loving myself. And this is the kind of thing that I help other people move through as well, and quite quickly, so that you can get to a place where you are feeling good in your own skin, and that's what it is all about.